Okay. Before going into the main content, I want to ask you a question. Are you an Asian? If you are, congratulating new fellow. Alright, I will not be long-winded and let's get started. When you had complete 4 exams and countless small tests with a bunch of school events, plus the parent-teacher conference too, that means your school year is finally over and the summer holidays start welcoming you. You could have time to relax and do things you like. Nah. Unfortunately, for some people, including me, it won't be that fulfilling and awesome. To prepare for the next school year and not to be confused by upper class knowledge, from 1 month or after summer vacation or a little longer, you will start going to summer classes. To say it more familiarly is extra classes. According to Wikipedia, I took info from here. Extra class or in the high schools of mainland China refers to social phenomenon of extra study for the improvement of students' academic performance in the Chinese National Higher Education Entrance Examination, commonly known as Gaokao. This extra is usually in the form of extra mandatory classes organized by high schools or private tutoring provided by cram schools. It's also be in South Korea or Vietnam, Mali, and some that I can tell that. But in this video, I will only talk about the reality of teachers' self-open class extra class. Firstly, based on the explanation above, we can see that it happens most often in high school students. However, it's not only them. Elementary or middle school students can have it, even the children in kindergarten. But according to some news sites that I have read, sorry for not remembering the names, this situation has decreased in China and some nations, and my country is still there. Of course, there are many reasons for this. It could be for teachers who earn extra income or to support students who are struggling. Since a school time is limited, teachers won't have enough time to teach in detail. It is also a good knowledge reviewing place for students who are about to take the education entrance examination. When you study there, you will be taught knowledge almost the same as in class, but more thoroughly and with some new things added. Mostly those subjects of the extras are math, literature, English, chemistry, physics, or science in general, also called main subjects, because people think that those subjects are important, the rest are not. So what about extra classes about art or sports only? Oh yes, you could have that, although if your family is better off and want to show you off to their relatives or acquaintances. Depending on your interest and willingness, it would be fun or not. Throughout my school life, I mostly have the main subject ones, like math and English. Literature, biology, chemistry, physics were in the list when I went to secondary school because I was pretty weak at those. But I quit studying chemistry and biology because I don't get those in my subject group. And there are a fact that as soon as you are an Asian whose country has this, you will get used to it in your first 12 years of education. With the above evidence, extra classes seem to be very useful and beneficial, yet it also has some complex incidents. For example, if you don't study the class, you might just get special attention quiet. Before studying a lesson, I would call one student up for an oral test. I would call, the student not in the list.
Please don't call me.
Okay, student BXY. What?
Yes. Yay. Phew.
But on the other hand, your grades will be lower somehow and you will be friendly reminded by the teacher. They even try to talk with the parents and about this so they can force you to study in their class. And you know what? You even might know what your test is tomorrow if you are in their secret reveal. One thing I really bored with when it comes to Asia class is not only the quantities but also the time break among them. Picture that you get up early to go to school, might at 6:30 or simply before 7 a.m. and spend 3 to 4 hours in the morning and 3 hours in the afternoon, plus 2 hours for a class. Moreover, you will not only have one but also 2, 3, and even 4 classes a day, and some of them are even close to each other class time. Are you still if you are in that scenario, keep staying healthy. And if you are wondering if I was in that case, well, yes, I was. That happened when I was in grade 9 and my goal was to take the high school entrance exam successfully. At the time, I only had 2 extra classes, Math and English. IELTS actually. More specifically, the first was from 5:50 to 7:50 p.m. and the second was from 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. If you see these arrangements and compare to the end of my school time at that time, as 4:45 p.m., it sounds like I would have some time to rest. No, not even a second, guys! Because the school was 6 kilometers away from that math class, plus the traffic jam at my school gate and the road rush hour. Therefore, it took me 20 minutes. Additionally, I had to eat dinner right away to save time and get to the second class on time, so I was in a big hurry and rush. Honestly, it was not a proper dinner. Instead, it was a supper like bread or sticky rice or any food from street vendors. And after finished eating, I rode my electric bike as soon as possible to class and quickly ran into my seat. Oh, speaking of seats, there were no fixed seats because there were almost 200 people in there, and the seat setting was quite similar to a lecture hall, like this. Except you are in a group with more than 3, your seat might be suddenly taken without knowing, and was in that situation for many times. Okay, back to the story. After studying seriously and finishing the lesson, I rode my bike to the second class or my IELTS class. The reason why I started learning it too early is that center seduced my mom like the way other English centers promise the output after several years. And I even don't need it that much, even though it gives me some useful knowledge. Of course, I came on time, took a seat, and quickly started the lesson. It lasted for months and totally drained my energy a lot. Luckily, at the second term, I got the center's permission of temporary absence so that I have more time to focus on reviewing for the high school entrance exam. That also meant I didn't have to eat out every time I had the exams. It was an exciting yet unforgettable time in my school. Overall, having extra classes has some benefits. It helps you to familiarize with the knowledge of the upper grades so as not to be confused when entering the new school year. But it should be arranged properly to avoid being overloaded and causing pressure and fatigue for the learner, especially the younger students. If you are struggling with some arrangement between class or the qualities, try to discuss it with your parents or your teachers so that we will have a suitable schedule to study effectively. And remember, staying healthy and alert on your study path. Fighting! Since it is my first video, there will be some things that are not satisfactory and I will try to fix and improve them. Besides, I also have some accounts here and in the description as well to post some my art and animation. And thank you for watching my video, and if you like, subscribe my channel to wait my next video as well as motivate me to make more videos. Goodbye and see you in the next video.